All right, you guys know I love music. I love singers and pop songs and all the latest trends. I've found a guy who is so good, one of the top singers right now, and nobody's talking about it. It's crazy. This should be something like on the news, you know. They talk about Taylor Swift and Jelly Roll and Sabrina Carpenter and all these other artists, and for some reason, this guy's not getting brought up. This dude is so good. They actually had him on America's Got Talent over 500 times now. And believe it or not, this is my favorite new singer. He is the president's son, which I didn't even know that was possible. Barron Trump. This is incredible. Take a look at this. Wow. He's on AGT, which I watch every week, even when it's not on. Check this out.
I was lost in the shadows, drowning in pain.
Wow. Oh my gosh.
Carrying the weight of my guilt, my shame.
A beautiful voice. Wow.
But you reached out, pulled me from the deep.
Yeah.
Gave me hope.
Who's he talking about? Who's he singing about?
Promise I could keep.
Is he singing about Melania?
My tears made my heart whole. Forgave my sins, healed my soul.
Is he talking about Vivek?
I walk in the light, forever free. Your love has set a sinner like me free.
Sinner.
Thank you, Jesus.
Oh my God.
For all you've done.
Woo!
For the battles fought. For the
Victories won. Yeah, so not only is he one of the most gorgeous, talented singers of all time, handsome dude, handsome devil. He's about my height, 6'20", and I heard about him. You're not going to believe this. You know, you would think, oh, who'd you hear this from, Jesse? A trendsetter, an Instagram, a TikTok account from a little kid. No, believe it or not, I first heard about Barron Trump's ability, his beautiful ability to sing, from my dad, who saw it on YouTube. My dad, who's in Florida and watches Fox News all day, he told me about this. Okay. Hi, everybody. Welcome. This is PodAwful. I'm your host, Jesse P.S. Happy to be here. Thank you to the henchmen for joining. Mandatory, of course, but I thank you nonetheless. Recently I visited my dad and I learned things that I never thought possible. I learned brand new things. We are live, as we are Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, 7 p.m. Eastern time. We got the live chat room going on over at PodAwful.tv. You can join us live free on Mondays here on YouTube. Let's see what they're saying in the chat room. Oh no, LOL. Red light means go. Always pleasure. Never pain. Happy to be here. Hi, Jesse. We got a lot of happy to be here's in chat. Thank you so much, everybody. So this episode, I want to explore something. I want to be clear right off the bat here. My dad, and probably your dad too, is not dumb, but he is a boomer. And unfortunately, we did an episode a long time ago about black kids doing pretending to react to songs as if they've never heard of them before. And we called it Boomer Bait. And what happens is an old guy sees a little black teenager going, whoa, okay, I guess Stevie Nicks can sing. Okay. And then YouTube sees that, and what they would normally do, if it was me, they would go, you can't play this song in full without even really reacting or doing any commentary over it, Jesse. That's illegal. But with the black kid, he goes, I'm a black teenager, no copyrights intended. And YouTube goes, here you go, please steal money from the elderly. Well, who else likes to steal elderly money? Indian people. So the latest in India technology, okay? AI scamnology. And this is pure distilled, absolute boomer bait. They've never seen anything like this before. Again, my dad's not a dumb guy. He really isn't. But here's what happened. I went, my dad's birthday. He turned 80 years old. Wow. Crazy. He's 80. Okay, can you believe that? And you know, when you got an older dad, I got an older dad. I'm still 23, 24, 25 years old, according to people who watch another kind of boomer bait, Comicsgate. All of Ethan Van Sciver's little guys, they go, this 25-year-old, one of them was like, he's 5'9". Ha ha ha. Ask Barron Trump if that's true. My new hero, my favorite comedian, Barron Trump. My favorite comedian, my favorite singer. My favorite comedian is Vivek Ramaswamy. My favorite singer is Barron Trump. Also, legalized comedy. So they need to make comedy legal again so that I can scam the elderly. I'll just repeat to them the jokes they remember from George Carlin and Lenny Bruce. And they'll be like, ooh, oh, that's edgy. Ooh, they're going to call me an edgelord. I'm going to be like, here's a 7 dirty words you can't say on the radio. And they go, oh, shit, the radio. I remember that. We all used to sit around my mom's Victrola. Anyway, what was I talking about? Oh, the EVS guys. All these guys are saying I'm 5'9" and I'm 120 pounds. Thank you for the thin salt, but I'll take it. I'll even take the 5'9" for 120 pounds. That's actually kind of nice of you, so I appreciate it. Anyway, so these guys, though, they love being boomer baited. The Opie and Anthony retards love being boomer baited. My dad, he's no different than your dad or anyone else's dad. They all love being boomer baited. Boomer bait is an easy thing. These guys, they trip off nostalgia. Nostalgia is a drug. It's a mental illness. And when you sit there reminiscing about the things of yesteryear all day long, you know, the simplest trick can get you. And, you know, it's crazy when you have an older dad, because my dad, he turned 80. Happy birthday, my dad. And so I decided to give him a visit, okay? This is why I went to Mersh's house. I wasn't really just Mersh squatch hunting. I visited my dad. It turns out, by the way, this is going to blow your fucking socks off. I don't live with him. His trust fund takes care of the moon base. He said, here's money, Jesse. I see the way you're using it. Here's more. You know, because a boomer would definitely spend money on this. So when you have an older dad, it's this crazy thing. Because your dad, even 60, by the way, 60 years old starts getting dicey for a fella. You know what I'm talking about? I hate even thinking about this because my dad will, of course, never perish. He's not Mike David's dog or Steven Crowder's dog or, I don't know. Did anybody else have a parent die? Oh, yeah, Mersh. My dad's not Mersh's dad. You know, he's not a lol cow.
I'm a lol cow.
But you do start worrying. Around 60, you start going, oh, man. Because you read about famous people, and they're like, it turns out, though, when a guy dies at like 60-something, it means he was a degenerate, drunk, loser, drug addict, fat freak, couldn't stop smoking all day. My dad doesn't smoke and drink all the time, so he'll probably be all right. But anyway, you start worrying about it because you think that this is when guys die and their brains start going crazy. And then they start spending all day in the heat in Florida watching Fox News. Fox News is the bed of music playing underneath the radio broadcast that is an old guy's mind. He just needs Jesse Waters in there saying the stuff about Biden and Kamala and all these people. He's got to hear that, right? Or else he doesn't know how to function in society. I don't begrudge my dad for, I'm not one of these, I don't care. I'm not one of these people who's like, oh my gosh, he believes in Elon Musk. I don't think he does. It's kind of a weird cross section, the boomers with Elon Musk, because he's an electric car guy, and old guys, they don't like electric. So I don't know I have no idea what my dad thinks when it comes to, frankly, anything, which is why this whole scenario blew my mind. My wife was dying, and I was like, honestly, she was enjoying the humor of this scenario of my dad falling for AI a little too much. I started getting defensive, like Irish defensive. I'm on the Irish defense when it comes to my wife. And don't fucking forget that, by the way. That is still true, honey. Do not laugh at my fucking dad. I swear to God, you will be in for a world of hurt. So, anyway, I'm thinking of, by the way, I will be very embarrassed. This is not something that you should think as a human being, but I will be very embarrassed as a person if my dad were to ever accidentally somehow die. And I don't want that to happen whatsoever, obviously. So when it does, if it does, and it won't, but if it does, I will never acknowledge that it happened. There won't be a month off where I'm 2 months off where I'm taking the time. I will create an AI replica of my dad, which is now I know what he would have wanted. So then a guy hits 70. Your dad hit 70 and you're like, oh, fuck. And then he hit 75 and you're like, no. It's this crazy thing. A guy can hit 70 years old. And if he died the next day, everyone would be like, yeah, it's a tragedy, but that's what happens. Or he could live 30 more years. Either way. It could go either way. You never know. It could happen either direction. 30 more years, also perfectly normal for a human to live. Whatever. Just your entire lifetime so far, as you, the guy watching this show right now, or tomorrow. Either direction. Doesn't matter. Anyway, so, you start worrying about your dad. And when you see a sign like this, when you see a guy fall for something like this, you start to worry. Is it dementia? I realized, no, my dad is not the subject of the ridicule here. This is, of course, the problem of Indian people, scammers. Who loves preying on the elderly more than an Indian guy sitting there pretending to own a suit, looking at his fake watch covered in doo-doo, going, what time is it? Time to shit outside. And in loving the idea of ripping off your grandma for money. Your grandma's not stupid for falling for that. They don't know this shit exists. This is like bringing a Coke can to an uncontacted tribe. They're going to worship it. That's the craziest thing they've ever seen. Just a Coke can. What's this? New Coke? So they didn't even know there was an old Coke. So my dad, he turns to me at one, he's figured out YouTube, which is scary to me. I hope he's not watching. I have an unspoken pact with my dad, with my parents, where I go, do not, in my head, I've never said this to them. I'm like, don't watch the show. I don't want to ever have to be sitting here thinking you're seeing this, you're hearing my words. Although, when we do have a family get together of some kind, they ask what's going on. When I tell a parent what's going on in my life, I have to explain to them stuff like,
here's what puts a hair across my rear end.
Like that's that's my life now, is explaining this.
Choo choo, all aboard the Beachfront Express.
And they love it. They laugh. I think my dad would really love PodAwful, to be honest, but I don't want him to watch it. And this is crazy to me. he figured out YouTube. He's got, I bought him a gigantic, his eyes are really bad. And I think this is part of what explains the AI thing. His eyes are really, really bad. So I bought him this gigantic smart TV. And I showed him, like, you can go on there and anything you want to watch. If you got the Netflix or whatever, you go on there. And, but anytime I show him a technological marvel of the dark future, I always assume he's safeguarded from the dark future because he doesn't know how anything works and he'll just fucking give up anyway. And I'm always hoping that that's what happens. I'll give him some piece of technology. He tries it one time, throws it into the corner, it collects dust. Fox News. This dude found a way to watch Fox News on YouTube. I didn't even know that was a fucking option. So, probably should have thought harder about that one, to be honest with you. And now, I'm in trouble because my dad has fallen into the wormhole of the dark future. My dad has fallen down the fucking non-tent toilet. It's happening. My dad is a non-tent consumer. And I'm the number one anti-digital litter guy out there. I've been on a crusade for over a decade to stop this stuff. And I accidentally addicted my dad to it. And so I couldn't feel worse. This is why I refuse to mock him in any way or any of the parents out there. This is the viral toilet of Facebook slop tent. This is what your parents are doing. When you go, who the fuck uses Facebook anymore? You assume it's a virtual graveyard. Log into a Facebook. I haven't done this in forever, but log into a Facebook. There, you don't see anybody you know anymore. It's just AI scam after AI scam. It's elder abuse, which I'm against. Unlike the Santa Cruz Joker, I am against elder abuse. That's where I draw the line.
PodAwful talks about me a lot.
True. So, I'm different in that way, in that I'm against elder abuse. I believe this is some sort of nursing home psyop from third world countries in order to take over the American mind, the old American mind. That's what I truly think is going on. And it's way, way worse than you fucking think. It's not just songs, by the way. Okay, so I don't know what it is about Barron, Trump, and America's Got Talent specifically. I mean, I do know what it is. Actually, I know exactly what it is. What am I talking about? It's obvious what's going on here. Barron Trump, he's like, in a old person's mind, that's the future. The young generation, they love seeing that. They love seeing a grandson. That's a grandson. And they go, that's the future. And it's a Trump. So they love Trump. And then what else do they watch other than Fox News all day? America's Got Talent, Dancing with the Stars, American Idol. Anything with you throw America in it, they're going to watch it. Even if it's three old guys bumping uglies together, they would watch it. Check this out. This is Barron Trump on America's Got Talent. Now, this one's, the one at the beginning that I played didn't even look real. Like, they didn't even have any of the real hosts on the show or anything. Check this out. This has the real hosts. It's the real deal. He's on there. And I didn't think, it seems like an unfair advantage as a contestant to be the president's son, even if it is an unpopular president. And all the hot female hosts, like, they want to bang Barron. And this little child.
I am Barron Trump. Today, I want to tell you about the woman I respect the most in this world. My mother.
Yeah. Yup. Oh, yeah, that is so good. So this thing, this contrivance, this Indian psyop, they do a thing now where it's not just him singing. It's like 20 minutes of buildup where he just tells you about how much he loves his mom and dad. And there's multiple videos. I've just picked one video. This is one of the videos my dad showed me, though. This is where it gets pretty tough for my dad. As far as my dad goes, this is about to get pretty tough, all right? please bear him the grace you would your own father. So my dad turns to me, and he turns to my wife, and he turns to his grandkids, and he says, this is what he does, by the way. Every single conversation with my dad starts with a mystery. All right? My dad is a mystery box man. He goes, let me ask you something. And there's all this buildup. I wonder where I get it from. There's all this buildup. He goes, you ever heard you know who a good singer is? And I go, what? That's not even the beginning of it. Yeah, who? No, I don't know a good singer. Who? And, I assume he's about to tell me about either some country singer I've never heard of, or Jelly Roll, or a black kid that fooled him on YouTube. And I was halfway there. He goes, Barron Trump? And I go, yeah, the president's son. Yeah, I'm a little familiar. I've heard of him. He goes, that boy can sing. Now, when my dad says something like that, this could go one of three ways, okay? Number one, my dad's a jokester. So he says something like that, you assume it's a joke. You assume he's leading to some sort of setup. It's a punchline setup. Now, the number two way it can go is that he's fallen into the dark future. I'm terrified of that in this moment, so I don't know how to respond. The number three way it could go is he's right. So I'm treading lightly at this point. He goes, yeah, that boy can sing. I'll tell you that. And he can play guitar. And if you look really carefully here, you can almost make out a single pixel of guitar. So that's why I guess where he gets that idea. So I don't know how to respond. I go, what? And then I look at my wife, and she's like, and she's British. So her brain can't even process what's going on. She can't even understand. My dad and my wife do not understand each other at all. They barely speak to each other. And when they do, I can tell on both of their faces, they have no idea what the other one's saying. They're having entire conversations that do not line up in any fashion, but neither of them knows it. So they just keep going. Hey, let me ask you, ever been to a Chili's? Oh, yeah. Oh, pepper hurts my mouth. Yeah, they got a deal now where you can get a $10. They got a burger for $10. Oh, I had a burger the other. And they have no clue what the other one's. They're not even listening to each other. And frankly, I don't blame my dad. And again, I swear to God, Kelsey, if you are laughing too hard at any of this right now, we will have an issue after this. I will get Irishly defensive on you. All right? You said you wanted a new pair of sunglasses. I'm getting them delivered. So my dad starts saying, you heard this Barron Trump? He can sing. And when my dad starts a sentence with, man, boy, number one, I go, oh, God, where's this going? Number two, I know that whatever follows it up is about to be, whether purposefully or not, the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard in my life. So I give him the grace and I go, what are you talking about? What do you mean? He's like, he's on America's Got Talent. I said, no, now I know where we're going. I know which road we're hoeing. I said, no, frankly, no, he's not. Right? He's never been on America's Got Talent. And now here's the thing. I've never watched America's Got Talent. I just know intrinsically in my heart of hearts that there's no fucking way. And that if that had happened, the first person I heard it from wouldn't be my dad. My dad told me about Corn Pop about a year and a half after the fact. He's like, you got to do an episode about Corn Pop. I said, what? He's like, man, I'm telling you. This Corn Pop thing, now that's funny. You got to do a whole episode about Corn Pop. I said, that's not really what I do. I don't really talk about, politics. He's like, that's not politics. Biden said he beat him with a chain. I'm like, all right, you're right. So never did the Corn Pop episode coming soon to the Pizza Fund. So sorry, Dad, you have to subscribe to the Pizza Fund or else you can't watch the episode.
I'm Tom Gully, and you're watching Is This Live, the show on the PodAwful TV network. PodAwful.pizza.
All right. So I go, all right, Dad, show me what you're talking about. And this is not the first video he showed, but he keeps showing them. And Kelsey and I are looking over at each other like, is he serious? And I maintain that I'm not sure he was serious. Kelsey maintains that she is sure he was because she's fucking cruising for a bruising. And she's treating my dad like he's a dummy. So after about 3 or 4 of these videos, which we just kept making him play, we're like dying laughing at them. We kept making him play them. After about 3 or 4 of these, he starts to wisen up and realizes this isn't real. And we're pointing out all the flaws, which we're about to do. And he says, he starts acting like he knew the whole time, like he was joking too, which was very embarrassing. That was very embarrassing for me. And this is the thing. Boomers shouldn't be forced to listen. As much shit as we want to talk about boomers, as bad as they supposedly are, I'm not even sure my dad is technically a boomer. He might be too old to be a boomer. When does the silent generation end? Because he might be one of those. Technically speaking, though, you know, as bad as a boomer is, they don't deserve this. You are afforded, no matter how bad you are, I believe you should be afforded a certain amount of dignity in your old age, because life itself rips that dignity from you to some degree. This is why you're told to respect your elders, because, you know, at a certain point, you're sitting around pooping your pants. You're 43 years old. Your name is Mike David, and we must respect our elders. So check it out. This is what my dad thought was 100% real. You know, I pointed out to him, I said, the background says GT Tali. Was that a clue? And my dad was like, yeah, that's probably the name of the show.
Melania Trump. Her journey from a small girl in Slovenia to the position of First Lady of the United States is a story of determination.
See, some guy in the chat says, LOL, dumb boomer dads. Now, if you're just, you know, if you're being flippant about it, like tee hee hee, that's fine. But again, if you have a boomer dad, I would caution you. Listen, caution. Do not proceed. Don't be laughing constantly. One day this will be you, by the way. And it's sooner. You will experience this sort of thing much, much sooner than your dad did. Because it's all going hyper fast. We're in accelerationism mode.
Perseverance, and most importantly, faith in God.
Boomers are 1944 to 1964. So he's right there at the beginning then. Right? 45. He's right there at the beginning.
Thanks to that faith, my mother overcame many challenges to achieve the success she has today. My mother was born and raised in a small town in Slovenia. Her family was not wealthy, but my grandparents always taught her that faith and honesty are the most valuable assets a person can have. From a young age, she dreamed of a greater life, of a world beyond the borders of her homeland.
Hey, stop talking during his big speech. This is crazy. They gave him 20 minutes. I had to point this out. I was like, Dad, you think they just gave him 20 minutes to monologue on the show? They've got other contestants.
But the path to that dream was not easy. My mother is
And just to be clear, for the audio-only people out there, this is an animated photograph. I mean, this is the lowest level of lip sync animation ever. It barely even matches up.
Woman with ambition.
You can see, this is what Kelsey kept dying over. You can see that, like, the part that's moving on his body isn't fully connected. Like, there's a missing chunk of shoulder happening on one side. It's like old animation where you can tell the object that's about to get picked up because it's the one that's slightly more saturated than everything else.
And a strong work ethic. She pursued a career in modeling, a highly competitive and demanding field. But things did not always go smooth.
Oh, yeah. Do I even need to bother pointing out that it's Stephen Hawking talking? Listen, I have no idea what Barron Trump sounds like. I always kind of assumed it was this.
I got excited, very excited to see all of this.
You know, he's had the rumors swirling forever. He's got a touch of the tism. Trump's got some real strong feelings about the tism. So I've always assumed that he's, you know, out there going choo-choo all aboard the Retard Express. I didn't know he was so retarded that he had to use a man's physical retardation voice box.
Smoothly. There were days she
Maybe he got it on one of his dad's visits to Epstein Island.
faced rejection, times when she encountered disappointment.
So this is crazy. They cut from actual audience footage from America's Got Talent to just AI generated things. And the AI generated ones look totally different. But, an old person, their eyes aren't too good. They can't tell those subtle differences. They're not savvy. This is something you don't realize is you have been made savvy by being, an internet addict, basically, by being terminally online. This is similar to my theory on why movies suck and why you hate CGI. It's not that CGI is inherently bad. I think what ruined movies in general and CGI specifically is the behind the scenes, the making of, the magic of. Star Wars really killed this stuff. Showing you everything. No one knew what a blue screen was until 1997 when they started doing the special editions of Star Wars. No one knew what a green screen was. You had never heard of that. And obviously, at this point in time, we probably would have found that out anyway. There are normal human beings with green screens strapped to their chairs right now in their normal human homes. But I do believe that all these making of, these behind the scenes, BTS's, the DVD extras ruined the movies because now you can see it. You're not supposed to be savvy to it. This is when a magician watches a magic show. He's not watching it to be fooled. He's watching it looking for the different moves. He's looking at the legerdemain, the prestidigitation. How good is your sleight of hand? Are you a true conjurer or am I seeing, an old guy, this is in the 1800s, they would go to a magic show and the old Chinese guy who was actually just a white dude with his eyes taped to the sides, they would think this is a fucking wizard. That's it. It's over. And then 100 years later, a guy goes on TV wearing a silly black mask telling you how it all works. And now magic isn't real anymore. Nobody believes in it.
But instead of giving up, she turned to God. She prayed, believing that God had a plan for her. And indeed,
Somebody says, I love listening to commentary tracks with the director, but I am also a big loser. Thank you for clearing that up, by the way. Okay. Well, that's okay. I mean, you don't have to. We didn't expect more of you or anything. Listen, I was one of those people too. I loved the DVD extras. And I started realizing it in the early 2000s. I started realizing I can see the strings. I can see the strings that control the systems. I'm like the flow bots. I can ride my bike with no handlebars, okay? I can take apart my remote control and I can almost put it back together. So I noticed this is the same thing as, knowing how Sawing the Lady in Half works. Seeing these things, you start to notice it everywhere at a certain point. And this is why there's 1,000 fucking YouTube commentaries, these stupid, what do they call them? What do they call, what is the overwrought thing? They're not documentary, but they're it's a dissertation or something on YouTube where they're explaining to you that actually CGI is not bad and actually you can't tell what happens. The good CGI is the invisible CGI. That's what they always say. And it's well, yeah, no duh. But usually the only time you can't tell is when it's something they just replace the background a little bit in part of a scene. That's the stuff they're talking about. They painted out one thing. They've been doing that since before CGI. No duh. I do think that, when CGI stuff first came out in the 90s and the 2000s and the hits of the day, you used to look at it and used to be impressed by it. You used to be holy shit, how are they doing this? And now you think like, you just clicked one button and the computer did it, which is what's happening here with Barron Trump, by the way. Video essay. Thank you so much. I couldn't think of the word. I'm not Mexican. So I couldn't think of the word essay. Yeah, video essay. It's not an essay, by the way. Just because you sat there and made a script about it. That's not an essay. It's nostalgia, by the way. That's not boomer bait. That's millennial bait. It's, hey, remember the thing from when we were kids? Nostalgia is a mental illness. Avoid it at all costs.
By little, she found opportunities to step into the world. Leaving her homeland, my mother came to New York, the city of dreams. But beneath the bright lights, she faced countless challenges.
I said to my dad, I was like, you saw this one? And you're like, this is real? And he was like, oh, I skipped the intro. So this is the danger of skipping the intro, by the way. Another thing I hate about modern society is people's willingness to just instantly go, nah, this part's not important. Skip. They do this in movies. Like a normal brained guy, quote unquote, will sit there during a movie and be like, I just want to get back to the action part. Or I only care about this storyline. You don't get to choose. We never should have put the controls in your hands. This is making everybody very, very dumb. Like a scary amount of stupid.
A young woman in a foreign country with no family and no one to support her. The only thing she had was her unwavering faith and the belief that God would guide her.
Okay, so let's skip this part and see if there's ever a part where he sings. He's got a guitar. And by the way, this performance has some special guest music stars.
He sang the words that helped her heart to mend.
Oh, ladies and gentlemen, Barron's father, Donald Trump, on America's Got Talent. Not that strange. He did host his own reality game show, I suppose. I had no idea he could play the piano. This is beautiful. Father and son. I don't see Barron really strumming the strings at all. Man-made horrors beyond belief, everyone. And you're sitting there thinking, oh, nobody's falling for this, Jesse. There's no way. Every single song is about Jesus with these guys. You can't avoid it. It has to be about Jesus or these guys. My dad, I don't know if my dad even believes in God. I swear. I have no clue if my dad actually even... We never went to church or anything. I have no idea what he thinks. You know, if I were to ask him, he'd be like, man, boy, let me tell you. And then it would be 50 minutes of mystery box. We would get to the end of an hour-long conversation. I would have no clue any further if he believes in Jesus. But you put Jesus in a song, you make it sound a little country, old guys got to watch it, you know? If Barron Trump, if they just put a cartoon cowboy hat on top of him, like an emoji sticker right on top of his head, my dad would be like, damn, this is like the Westerns I love. You think nobody's believing this shit, but then the comments are all, I have not, oh my God, wait, what? This is the top comment. I have not had a mom who has cared about me since I was 15. I am now 61. We're 1 year in. 30 years, who knows? Tears of beautiful songs. You were strong and beautiful. Faith, perseverance. Perseverance and God. Do not fear. Wow, powerful. Powerful words. This is the thing. The people, it's not even just boomers either. There's this sick, sad, specific type of nostalgia-baited boomer who their whole life they feel like they've been put upon. And this is part of the mental illness of nostalgia, is you become nostalgic about yourself. You start writing mythologies about your life as if you lived this epic poem, as if your history matters at all. No mom cared about me since I was 15. So your mom died at 15. Okay, so did a million other people's moms. Even younger than that, by the way. I am now 61. How many months off of the show did you take? So there's this thing where you go on any older music, anything, 60s, 70s, older, and there's the top comment is always some dude or some woman, usually a woman, writing their mythology, writing their personal nostalgia into the comment section. This is a terrible way to live, period. And it's not just old people that do that. I mean, you're doing this. You're doing this right now. You've got a storyline about how your life went, and each little part that went wrong, you tell yourself about, and you tell yourself about how it did it and how actually that was everyone else's fault. This is a sickness of a way of thinking. And the internet, it's a dark mirror. It's a dark reflection. And a lot of people, when they're staring into that little black rectangle and they're staring at their phone, looking at it, they got that front-facing camera on the phone for a reason. The phone is looking back at you, and it's telling you about yourself. And you're sitting there, and every little thing that you consume that's nostalgia, and you're only watching it because it reminds you of a time in your life. All of that is a dark reflection. It's not rose-tinted glasses, okay? It's blue-tinted glasses, and it's not good. It's not good what you see. When you're sitting there thinking about your storyline all of your life, that's when this kind of stuff can affect you. This 61-year-old woman, she's 61. She's probably smart enough to know better. She was blinded by her own thoughts while listening to this. She didn't even pay attention to the smaller details. She can't see the forest for the trees. Amen. God bless you. Awesome song and faith in God. He is an amazing singer. Wow. Someone says. People fall for this stuff. It's not just AI Indian comments too. The saddest part is you look at a video like this, you go to the comment section, you're praying for dead internet theory. This is one of the few places where it's still alive. Now, this comment section here will soon be a literal graveyard. These people will one day no longer exist, and it's not that far from now.
She found the peace to sleep. A simple
Somebody said Jesse's dad is MAGA. My dad, listen, me, my family, and where I'm from, more broadly, are the most apathetic human beings that have ever existed. Okay? My dad has never voted, which, by the way, pretty cool. Pretty awesome. My dad has never voted, but he loves sitting there hearing about, how the Democrats are bad and how Trump is good. He does love it. I don't think he's MAGA. I think he wishes black people wouldn't break into his car. Is that MAGA? Because if so, you would think a lot more people who live in the city would be MAGA then.
song became her mighty shield.
Look, so I pointed out to my dad, I was like, you see that in this shot, they keep just going back and forth between 2-3 different shots of Trump at the piano. So you see that in this one, it's a completely different piano, right? And, I could see him like eyeballing it, trying to figure it out. Like maybe I'm wrong. I love that. I love when I say a thing that is obviously true and then somebody's like doing the math in their head on whether or not I might be correct. There's like a mystery item on the piano. Explain to me what you see here, Father, please. What is that? Thank God. Listen, maybe you shouldn't vote.
Another wound was healed. Faith it grew.
All right, so spoilers, because we saw the thumbnail, we saw the title before this video began. The whole video, Kelsey and I are sitting there waiting for a big moment, because in the thumbnail, it doesn't show just Barron and just Donald Trump, but Elon Musk is in the band as well. You got to get them all in there. I think I did see one with Vivek on bass or something, which, you know, kind of makes sense. So the whole time we're sitting there waiting for fucking Elon to get in there. This song goes on for 20 minutes. They keep you waiting. They know you're waiting for Musk. What's he playing? A cyber guitar? I skipped like 40 minutes ahead, by the way.
In the storm, a guiding heartbeat strong. Faith and belief, where she always belonged. In whispered prayers, they found a way to cope.
Like, they ran out of reaction shots 1 minute in. There's 20 minutes to go. They're just looping. They're just looping, but it doesn't matter. The nostalgia blindness is on.
God sent a boy to bring the spark of hope.
Now the piano's on the other side of the stage somehow. This man's Liberace. I'm not saying that because he went to Epstein Island.
The weight that made her
Maybe. We'll never find out.
spirits bend.
All right. So you wait and you wait and you wait and you go, this got to happen at some point. He's got to be done playing guitar. Musk has got to get in there. What happens? Let's skip ahead here. Look, the song ends. The crowd goes wild. I mean, that was pretty good. And then the video starts over in the middle of the video. Look, it's the same shots. It's the exact same shots we've already
I
seen.
was born into a family where all eyes were...
New monologue. Same video, new monologue. So I said to my dad, I was like, do you think he had a costume change? They let him do a full-ass costume change mid-show. They're giving him over half of the runtime of the program, and they're letting him do a Cher style. He's coming out with his butt cheeks hanging out at this point. His hair's redone. He's done his eyebrows differently. He's wearing a James Bond dinner jacket.
were on me.
And he gets to do a second monologue.
As the son of one of the most powerful men in America, I never lacked anything: money, fame, admiration. But from a young age, I realized there was something empty inside me. I didn't know what to call it. I just knew that applause couldn't fill the void in my
And the void in his life was, of course, nostalgia.
heart. People thought I had a perfect life. But behind the high walls of the White House,
See, when you're sitting there, you're 70, 80, 90 years old, 60 years old. You're sitting there all day, nothing to do, you know, if you're retired, and you're just thinking about this stuff. You're thinking about that whole life. And then you got possibly 30 more years to go. That's scary. Oh my God. Yeah, somebody's sharing in Discord. All right. Remind me, I got to take a look at this. Smoke Kane has shared something very funny in Discord, but I'm obsessed with the Barron Trump thing.
I felt lonely. The pressure of fame, the enormous expectations from society, and the relentless criticism exhausted me.
They're crying just from the monologue. So let's skip ahead. Let's get to the song. They got a whole band for this one. Check this out. Watch this.
And my uncle, Elon Musk, please,
No. Wait, that's not how it...
alone. I have found hope in him, and I pray that you will too. And now I will perform 2 songs with my father, Donald Trump, and my uncle, Elon Musk.
So in your head, you're going, okay, well, the Indians don't know that they're not related. Why else would Elon Musk be there? Why does he get to stand there and show off his belly behind Trump? Must be somebody's uncle. That makes sense. You have to remember, though, this is how you know is this India psyop, is Indians just call every guy that's older than them uncle. So that's like totally normal to them. While they're all, you know, doing a squatty potty on Main Street with each other, you know, the dude across from them, if he's 10 years older than him, that's his uncle. Hi, uncle.
Please, enjoy.
This is nuts. Yeah. All right. So Trump is a virtuoso. This man went from piano to electric guitar. And we've got old Uncle Elon on drums. Or should I say Uncle Iran? See, because I'm a little confused. I'm not sure if this is Uncle Elon or if this is Chairman Mao here. But, you know, listen, they tried their best. India, they're doing what they can. I'm also not sure that's how drums work. He's more just jacking off the drumstick than anything.
When shadows
Also, wouldn't you put Elon on the electric instrument?
fell and curtains closed.
Oh, okay. Well, now we're on a brand new drum set in the middle of the crowd. A very young, very handsome Elon Musk.
A boy found strength no one yet knows.
Oh, they switched sides. Okay.
In whispered prayers and silent night,
Drums.
he fought with heart and won the fight.
This is, you know, listen, it's a thing on TV shows like this, these talent shows. You're not really playing the instruments. You're not even plugged in. There's no chords or anything. So you kind of have to just wave your drumsticks in the air like you just don't care. I saw Nirvana do the same thing on Top of the Pops.
Faith in the light.
Load up on guns and kill your friends. It's fun to lose and to pretend. You ever seen that? Kurt Cobain just miming playing guitar because they wouldn't let them actually play. It's one of the funniest clips ever.
Guiding his way through darkest night and longest day. With every step he took so bold.
By the way, how is he harmonizing with himself? Where is this other voice coming from?
A story of courage quietly told.
Who's that guy? Is that Musk? Oh, that's cool. Trump was like talking to the crowd. He's doing a little busy work with the crowd, you know. Hey, how you guys doing? Was that a Trump impression? My son is pretty good, right? Right? I'm really into right now. My former Trump, I don't like the Trump stuff, but as far as like, you know, everybody's doing an impression of Trump. Forever, though, we really loved, frankly, he screams it. You know, he started doing those rallies and all of a sudden he no longer knows how to talk normal. He's in rally mode 24/7. Frankly! This is probably what turned Barron autistic, but also gave him his beautiful angelic voice. But now he does a thing where he goes, right. He checks in with people. I like when he checks in. It's nice. It's nice when you got a president who's like checking in with you. Like, do you agree with me? You know, right. We love right. Frankly, right. You're amazing still.
Adversity knocked on his door.
Check this out. Look at this. This is Nirvana. Now, by the way, I am a black teenager. No copyrights intended. I've never heard this song before. Whoa. What's that? Gen X boomers? Nirvana? I've never even heard this before. I'm going to do stank face so we can play this one.
Having sold over 1 million records in 6 weeks, they're straight in at number 9. Here's Nirvana with
Smells Like Teen Spirit. So he's already there. You can see already Chris is just holding up his bass. There's nothing happening at all. He's just miming. He's got a mannequin hand just miming the guitar in front of it as obviously as possible. It's a British, Top of the Pops, a British show. They never let anybody actually play the instruments. So Chris is kind of trying here. He's like halfway doing. He doesn't know. What are we doing? And then Dave's back there pounding the skins. He needs to learn from Elon. And I'm not just talking about when it comes to baby mamas, by the way. A lot lot of similarities. The kids in the audience are like, oh, the new song we all know. They don't even see it. This is like a reverse boomer nostalgia kind of thing. When you're a kid, it's about what's new. Everything is new. Oh, I want the new thing. So they're completely blind to the fact that essentially what's happening in front of them right now is an early example of AI performance. This is pre-recorded except for his vocals, which he almost comes in early. He doesn't even know his own song. He's not touching the guitar, but wow.
Load up on drugs, kill your friends, as fun to town. She's overjoyed.
I think he's doing like a Morrissey impression or something. I think Morrissey had just been on there, something like that. Which is ruining this is like the biggest song. This is their first time in London town. And he starts deep-throating the microphone. By the way, this is not nostalgia for me. I was a little baby. I don't remember that. I just saw this later in life, and I think it's really funny. Yeah, this is Keno. Is that what Keno is? I got a little Keno for you. Fuck. Ow. Ow, ow, ow. Ow. Oh, is that Keno? I hope that was Keno because I just fucking pulled something. I just pulled a tongue muscle. Oh, that sucks. This might be the best version of the song, to be honest. Oh, shit. Oh, okay. The beat drop. Okay, the beat drop. Yeah. All right. I keep putting out my hands. This is all I remember from it. I keep putting out my hands when I do the impression of it. He just at one point just takes it. Again, he's not touching the guitar. The whole song, he just puts his hands all the way out in a Christ-like pose, which, again, the boomers would love that. Yeah. Right? Right? Frankly. Okay. I think Dave has given up at this point. He's still pretending to strum. Yeah, okay, so Chris has his hand just flat against the bass while jumping up and down. They're not even I think they're purposefully not showing Dave now because it's the most obvious I'm not playing. He might just be sitting there. And for this gift, I incest. Oh, yeah, okay, I just saw. So Dave is sitting there just tapping the sticks together. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now he's tapping random parts of the drum. This is how I play the drums, by the way. Tap, tap, tap. Tap, 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 tap. Ting, tong, ting. Ting, 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 tong. All right, anyway, you get it. That's pretty fun, though, huh? Anyway, here's what my dad likes as far as music goes.
Hardships dragged him to the floor.
This is why they killed him, bro. It might be. It's, it is a shame. I've always felt like it was such a shame that Kurt didn't live long enough to go to Epstein Island. Courtney did, though. Courtney's in the little black book. We called Courtney Love on the show a few times. And I spoke to her, actually. And I think did go to Epstein Island. Kurt would have loved Epstein Island. Oh my God, it would have been paradise. Boy, this little girl with the crimped hair must love Barron Trump. They keep cutting back to her.
He knew where he truly belonged. Faith in the light.
So they had an AI script write the song. Even like, obviously the song is AI, but a human being didn't even pen the lyrics. We are so many levels deep on AI, it's unthinkable.
Guiding his way through darkest night and longest day. With every step he took so bold.
Whoa, that handsome devil.
Quietly told.
Yeah, kill it, Trump.
No mountain high, no valley deep.
And I know what you're thinking. You've got to be thinking at this point, this is the most unbelievable thing. There's no way anyone buys this. I've already showed you the comment section. Here's the thing. It actually can get worse, and they'll still believe it. This is one of the better made Barron Trump AI videos, and I'll prove it in just a minute. We'll be right back after this.
Can you say PodAwful is the best show on the internet?
Barry Caravello Live is the best show on the internet.
How about this? Snap to, sit up straight, and say, hey, I'm Barry Caravello, and I think PodAwful is the best show on the internet.
Look, all right, I'll be nice and I'll say I think PodAwful is the best show on the internet. But I really think my show is the best show on the internet. But when I snap out of this funk, is when my show is the best show on the internet.
Nah, not tonight. Far from the best show tonight.
Not tonight. Exactly. Tonight, no good.
Somebody says, your dad redeems. Someone says, haha, no way they are actually watching the whole video, right? They're watching the first 30 seconds briefly, then leaving a comment. Right? Right? No, I'm sorry, man. But no, they're watching the whole thing. They love it. My dad had been watching these forever, and then we embarrassed him, and now he refuses to watch them. Hey, real quick before we get back to Barron and the AI sewer hole, I forgot to play this on our most recent Friday show. Again, we're live Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, 7 p.m. Eastern Time, PodAwful.tv. We were live this Friday for our first new episode, new show. We're just experimenting, trying things out, called Pizza Party. And I hyped up that I was going to play this. I completely forgot to play it, so we might as well do it now. This is a huge YouTuber, by the way. This is crazy. Look at this. This is the Gamer from Mars. I've never heard of this guy. He's got 1.15 million subscribers. He's made a video here about Frank Hassel called The Internet's Most Hated Troll, Frank Hassel. And there's an entire segment of it called Frank versus PodAwful. Almost nobody even told me about this. I don't know how it's possible. All these guys with so many views, so many subscribers, none of my people ever see any of this shit. So I found out about this kind of late, but there's actually a more interesting feature in all of this. So this is insane. It's Frank versus all these different people. It's all the battles Frank has had. And my tiff with Frank, which kind of is interesting because if you think about it, if this is the internet's most hated troll, then I am the internet's most hated troll's most hated troll. Take a look at this.
For context to this next skirmish, in February of 2022, the YouTuber Matt Jarbo, most notable for starting Gamergate, hosted a live debate between the previously mentioned Ethan Ralph and beloved troll Mr. Medicare. Both of these online provocateurs laid the groundwork for internet blood sports, a community defined by constant infighting and heated debates that often take place during live streams. While the lore surrounding the community is worthy of its own video, the only thing you need to understand is that this debate was a huge deal when it happened. At one point, Medicare brought up an internet feud between Ethan Ralph and a man named Jesse P, who ran the
Okay, close. Like, can we do a little bit more fact checking? Jesse P, he calls me. Did you think the S was suggestive of something? Did you? Usually you just say a whole guy's name.
Claimed anti-podcast PodAwful. Jesse had previously appeared on the Kino Casino YouTube channel during a stream dedicated to hating Ethan Ralph.
Oh my God, I just noticed this. I didn't see this before. Look, he's got, he has on screen here, PodAwful, aka @OnlineRet. And then he blanked out the word retard. I was @online retard at the time. You know what? This seems fun. Let's go to the big board for this one. Really enjoy this, everybody. Ladies and gentlemen, the big board. I'm going to move this over to the other screen.
Big board looks great, Colonel.
Thank you so much. So let's check this out. Again, this is a huge, huge YouTuber. Really incredible stuff. Watch this.
At one point delivering a box of diapers to his house. The next morning, Ralph awoke to find that corn cobs had been dropped off at his front door. Ethan maintained that what had happened...
That's a different... I had nothing to do with the corn cobs. That's a different incident. This guy's got a little bit of the facts wrong here, but this is kind of fun. Is this guy AI, someone asks?
And was harassment that frightened his fiancée.
We could easily make our own Gamer from Mars videos.
Which led Medicare to accuse him of hypocrisy for his previous stance on the Boogie situation.
And then, Ralph, I guess the other...
This is what I like about this one. He gets this. This is the subtlety that the normal people never get in this whole thing, is that Ethan Ralph was fine with Frank Hassel showing up to Boogie's house, but when I showed up to his house the week before, it was a big deal.
Question related to this, and this is an honest one. You had no wait. You promoted the Frank Hassel and Boogie thing.
No.
You promoted the Frank Hassel and Boogie thing as being based in Red Pill.
I'll let you ask whatever.
Okay. After Medicare and Ralph had finished their debate, Jarbo decided to keep the stream going and invited various other members of the community to join in. This, of course, included Frank Hassel. Flamenco, another streamer, also brought up PodAwful's feud with Ethan Ralph. Recognizing the name, Frank decided to chime in with his own 2 cents.
That PodAwful guy is a freak, though.
Yeah.
In Ralph's defense, that guy is also a total psycho freak.
At first, it wasn't exactly clear why he felt this way. But
this is about to get really interesting.
But this would soon be answered when Jesse later joined the call and confronted Frank about it directly.
I was friends with this mentally disabled guy on Facebook like 5 or 6 years ago, and he like harassed the guy and like tried to get him to come on the stream all the time and was like,
who was that?
Like abusing a mentally retarded guy.
Who was that?
Again.
What was his name?
Brian Fortune.
Brian Allen Fortune? I'm still friends with him. I talk to him all the time.
No, his whole family had to block you because you were like messaging his mom.
I'm friends with him right now. By the way, crazy coincidence. Brian Allen Fortune, the guy that Frank is talking about there, is in my DMs right before the show. Right before the show. He said, this is what he said to me. He said, do live streams make money? That'd be cool if the Brian Show paid one day. Brian Allen Fortune has a show called The Brian Show. Maybe I should start a pizza fund, LOL. And I said, you have to actually do it and work hard for it to make money. He said, work hard. I can't work part-time, LOL. I have no idea what that means. I said, then he says, maybe I should get in better shape and get a part-time job somewhere. I said, you don't have a job and do nothing all day, so you could put 100% effort into making a show, but you're too lazy. He said, yeah, or just get a normal job. So I still talk to Brian Allen Fortune. This was a big misunderstanding. Check this out. Giant pizza fund ad in this 1 million subscriber video. Look at this. Thank God I paywalled this one.
take this lying down, however, and went on to record an episode of PodAwful where he responded to the allegations and set the record straight on his relationship with Frank Hassel.
PodAwful mentioned, by the way. Go to this video, throw a PodAwful mentioned in chat in the comments.
In the description, he states, "I've learned the error of my ways, and it is time to apologize to everyone. Somehow, this now includes names I never thought it would before."
Wow, this is crazy. He's like highlighting the different lines of I typed this, and now my text is being highlit. I thought this would only happen when finally, everything comes crashing down on me, and I have my big court case that is inevitably coming my way. Good luck. I'm on the moon.
Like Frank Hassel. But most importantly of all, I owe an apology to a man I wronged many years ago. A man named Brian Allen Fortune.
And of course, this is a joke. He doesn't get it. This is a joke.
During the episode, Jesse contests the narrative that he harassed.
So this is the crazy thing. It's showing, when he shows the website, it's showing it as if, it says subscribe to the Basement Crew level. He can't see the video. And then he's just reading the description. So I'm thinking in my head, oh, this guy didn't want to pay $1 to see the video, right? Which, I get. You don't want to see it. But then he starts describing what happened.
I owe an apology to a man I wronged many years ago. A man named Brian Allen Fortune. During the episode, Jesse contests the narrative that he harassed this Mr. Brian Fortune fellow, and actually accused Frank of being the one who bullied him. He has a call with Brian, who gives a different side of events.
Frank paid you $100 because you... And he's got the audio. Ladies and gentlemen, and look, he put, I don't know what this graphic, I don't know, why is it over the American flag? Did I do this? No, because that's the most recent PodAwful logo. Why is this over top of the American flag? You showed your dick, or?
Yeah. I was like, really?
That's kind of gay of him.
Yeah, I think so. It's kind of weird.
You pay a guy to show his... He had to have put this together. I don't know what this graphic is. So, ladies and gentlemen, yet another example of my many E-famous, E-celebrity pizza funders. It's way more than you think. Keemstar's in there. Frank Hassel, by the way, is in there. This guy, whatever his name was, the gamer from... I checked the pizza fund. He's in there. He's really in there. What was that guy's name? Rob Vagabland is in there. There's so many of these guys join the pizza fund. I just wish normal people would join, Penis, that makes you like a gay guy.
This video never came out for one reason or another, with the recorded footage being private to this very day. It's important to emphasize that this is all alleged, with the only definitive proof of it even happening being hearsay. And while the two had it out for each other, they seemingly came to a resolution later on.
He even got this part right, that we're not, enemies. Frank Hassel and I are friends now, and he's showing the pizza fund again. How crazy is this? Look, this is a 1 million subscriber channel advertising that Mersh smokes bones.
With Frank even appearing on an episode of PodAwful. They bonded over their shared interest in a streamer named Mersh.
Why bring him up? That makes no sense. You don't have to talk about this at all.
Of PodAwful. They bonded over their shared interest in a streamer named Mersh, another member of the blood sports community.
No, not enough. Frank and I are not members, and Mersh is definitely not a member. You don't get to be a member of any community, but certainly not the blood sports community if you run away when I show up to the stream.
They discussed how they eventually came to an understanding and elaborated more on what the actual story was with this Brian guy.
Next season of the program, 100% Patriot themed. Yeah, LMFAO. Everybody's dying laughing over the Mersh mention. Isn't that crazy? Mersh just cannot stop getting into trouble on these huge streams. Anyway, the point is, we cleared all this in this very long phone call. We cleared all this stuff up where we both realized, no, we both like Brian. We both have fucked with Brian probably too hard.
At the end of the day, we may never...
It is what it is.
...know the full story here.
You can know the full story. The full story is that it's in that episode, actually, is the full story. I do have a phone call with Frank that I recorded that would really, really give the full story, but I don't. He said don't release it. So I'm respecting his wishes, but I wish he'd let me release it. It's very funny. There's nothing bad in it at all. But yeah, he said don't do it.
But retrospectively, it seems like the drama between the two was never really that serious. Regardless, it serves as yet another interesting feud he had with someone outside of the context of his videos. The rest of the year continued on as normal, with the infamous troll releasing even more content.
So isn't that crazy? PodAwful is the most infamous troll's most infamous troll. PodAwful's getting big. I'm in all the fucking documentaries now. It's really insane. All right, thank you to the gamer. What's his name? The gamer from Mars. How many views does this have? Almost 50,000 views. That's not really great. I guess your channel's not doing so well. 1 million subscribers, 50,000 views. That you could be doing better. Maybe you should really, really pay attention to the pizza fund, and you can figure this stuff out at some point. We'll find out. We'll find out in the future if the gamer from Mars ever figures out how to win the people back. How many views does he normally get? 158,000 on the video before that, 392,000 the one before that. He's only doing these videos like once a month, maybe 2 a month or so. Maybe Frank just wasn't a big enough topic. I don't know. That one doesn't seem to be doing so hot. So the PodAwful curse. PodAwful makes it worse. Curse. Okay. Barron Trump. Let's get back to Barron, shall we? So I told you it can get worse, and it does. With PodAwful, it always gets worse. Let's go to this one. This one's called Barron Trump Shocks All the Judges on AGT 2025. This should have been world news, but somehow... Wow. The whole intro's in there.
Hello. How are you? What's your name?
Good evening, judges. My name is Barron. For my entire life, people have known my name, but they have never really known me. They've created their own stories, their own expectations.
So I clicked this one. I was just looking for examples, right? I clicked this one. I was like, oh, this has got to be a parody. This is a joke. This is somebody else like making fun of this concept, right? Nope. They think he's a little British lad. And honestly, I don't blame him. You know, especially before he shot up to be 9 feet tall. He sort of does look like a little British, you know, filled with rickets cellar boy named Archibald Boole. Something like that.
But behind all of that, I am just a person trying to find my own way. Music has always been my
I need to teach myself to use my legs again, sir. One crumpet, please.
Place.
So Kelsey saw this one and she was like, oh, actually, this is good now. Now I like it. Oh, I like Barron Trump. I'll get your dad now. Your dad's not bad. Bleep, blop, and bloop, doop.
It's where I go when
I don't know what she said. I stopped.
World is overwhelming, where I can express what words alone can't. Tonight, I am not here as a name, not as a headline.
So you think he's going to start singing, and then it's going to be like, oh, look what you've done. You've made a fool of everyone. Or something like that, right? But then watch this. Let me skip ahead to the music part.
They see the surface,
just a completely different voice.
Not the scars. They see the light, but not the dark.
And they didn't bother lip syncing it. Doesn't matter. It's all the same to these people. Now, this one does have a comment on it where the guy's saying this is all a sham, but the video still has 2,270 views. People are watching this shit. They're looking for this sort of thing. They're into it. You know, I had to explain it to my dad. I put this boomer bait into his lap. It's my fault he traveled down the tunnel of the dark future. So I needed to give him the keys to the technology to understand it. I needed to give him a behind the scenes look in order to be able to see how the strings are pulled on this. So I said to my dad, you know, you can just, there are AI things now. Because, you know, they don't know this. Your parents don't know this stuff. This seems so obvious and common to us. But the older generation has no idea. I said, you can go onto a website, you can tell it to write lyrics for you, and then it will make the song with a guy singing in any style you want, anything. And I could tell he was incredulous to this. He didn't believe that this was even possible. So I was like, Dad, I do this on my show all the time. We've got a hit new song on the show. It's called Toilet Time. You guys are familiar with Toilet Time. It's one of the favorite segments of the show right now, where whenever I have to go do a number 1 or a number 2, which is very rare, but it does happen occasionally, we play this song.
Toilet time, toilet
and I wrote it.
Everyone
So I wrote this song live on the show last Friday.
It's toilet time. Is that a little fart I hear? Grab a tissue, grab a wipe. Jesse's gone, that's what I like. Toilet time, everyone, it's so sublime. Your favorite part of the show, toilet time, let's freaking go. Favorite part of the show, toilet time, let's freaking go.
Yeah, the correct answer is it was a number 3. So I'm not going to play the whole thing. We'll save it for Toilet Time, which I think we're good on tonight. However, I'm there with my dad. You know, I'm having a blast hanging out with him. He's a great guy. But I'm so concerned for his well-being when it comes to this stuff. So I said to him, like, Dad, let me prove it to you. Because I could tell he didn't believe it. Let me prove to you that you can just do this. I said, you know, I know my dad likes country. He loves country music. So I said, Dad, I'm going to make a country song with AI just for you. But I'm going to write the lyrics to prove that I did it. Okay? So, you know, I start reaching back into my improv background. I said, Dad, I'm going to need a suggestion. Give me a suggestion of something that they would make a country song about. He said, a truck. I said, okay. And now, Kelsey, give me an animal or so, just give me some random thing. She says, a snake. I said, Dad, I'm going to write a song about a pickup truck and a snake, and I'm going to do it in the style of your favorite country artist. He gives me all the info. And in 10 minutes, now, just to be clear, I am, you know, honestly speaking here, I am a genius songwriter. Okay? I'm like really good. And it also turns out country music is really easy to write. It's like the easiest style of music ever. You don't even need AI to write the song for you. Country music is so easy. In 10 minutes, I had a perfect, amazing song for him. And it was so good that he still didn't believe I made it, even after doing it right in front of him. Take a look at this. I put together a video for the song. Ladies and gentlemen, this is as co-written by myself and my dad. This is There's a Snake in My Truck. Okay? Take a look.
Well, I put on my boots in the morning and I headed out the door. But I didn't have any warning of what my truck had in store. I put my foot on the gas, had a date I couldn't miss, headed off at the pass when I heard that snake hiss. There's a snake in my truck, I screamed, what in the heck? It crawled up my leg while I hit the deck. I put the pedal to the metal and a paddle to the rattle, but I'm straight out of luck. There's a snake in my truck. I grabbed the snake by the throat, tied it up in my coat, and beat him against the doors of my truck. The scaly devil slipped away, and I started to pray, but Lord, my accelerator is stuck. There's a snake in my truck, I screamed, what in the heck? It crawled up my leg while I hit the deck. I put the pedal to the metal and a paddle to the rattle, but I'm straight out of luck. There's a snake in my truck. tightened his grip, and like a woman, I let out a squeal. And as we started to crash, I braced for impact, but the snake had taken the wheel. Man alive, this serpent could drive. He could turn on a dime, hit the brakes just in time, and it threw me for such a loop. But he saved my pink hide. A snake like this deserves a joyride. Before I turn him into rattlesnake soup, I put the pedal to the metal and a paddle to the rattle. Guess I found my good love. There's a snake in my truck. There's a snake in my truck.
Support the show. Join the Pizza Fund. PodAwful.pizza. Pizza, pizza. PodAwful.pizza.
Is this a cult if I ever heard one? Yes, it is. It's a cult. I mean, it's the cult of cults.
All right, join the Pizza Fund, PodAwful.pizza. Get instant access to all of our banned episodes, our archived shows, our premium shows, after shows, and so much more. Probably the pizza party episodes, the Friday shows are going to be paywalled at some point as well. So join for all of that. PodAwful.pizza. We don't do super chats. We don't waste your time with any of these other grifter tactics out there. You just get something for your money. You just get more shows. It's not a behind the scenes look. A lot of people do this on their Patreons and stuff. They go, we'll do behind the scenes. There's nothing to see behind the scenes of your shitty YouTube videos. And then they stop doing it after 1 month because they realize there's nothing to see and no one watches those things. Complete waste of money. It's just more shows. PodAwful.pizza. I'm going to jump in the Discord here as well.
Hi, Jesse. Hi, Jesse.
Hi, henchman. PodAwful.com/cult if you'd like to join me on air for this next bit, especially because we had Smokane submit something here live during the show. I have to check this out. It just sounds too good. This is called Two-Headed Siamese Twins Thrill America's Got Talent with a song that breaks hearts. Again, you can join me on air here by joining the call-in channel on our Discord. We'll drag you in.
Hello, we are Samuel and Lucas, Siamese twins. We were born joined, with one body and two heads.
Oh my God, show
Something
them.
that has always made us different.
Shouldn't there be two voices playing at once right now, by the way? Hello, we are Siamese twins. So they're not showing them yet. This is so much buildup and so much suspense. I want to see them.
Our childhood was very hard.
Oh my fucking God. What African planet are you from? Kleptunia.
People looked at us as if we were a mistake, and the taunts followed.
This is a mistake. Oh, hi, everybody. I'll turn the camera on for you now that there's people in
thank
here.
you.
Yeah, of course.
Thank you, sir.
Of course. Hi, Dirk. Hi, Urquit. Hi, Glunt. Hi, Jared. So, there's this. That is fucking Siamese, if I don't please. By the way, this is an amount of Siamese I didn't know was possible. They're connected at the body. I expected at the body. But then they are also then once again reconnected at the head. They split down the neck and then their heads join forces in some sort of oops, we fucked up, go Tinks fusion dance.
Followed us wherever we went. But the hardest thing was losing our mother, who always told us that we were a miracle and that our union was a strength.
Okay, if you're on, okay, I gotta take back what I said. If your dad falls for this, put him in a home. It's over. Okay. If your dad, this is not the same kind of thing. Just to be clear,
No.
Smoke Kane, you're fucking freaking me out with this one. Hi, subligna. Whoo, that's a tough one. I gotta be careful when I pronounce that one.
It's Subligna.
Subligna. Welcome, new criminal sociopath pizza funder. Thank you so much.
I'm happy to be here, man.
Happy to be here.
Hell yeah.
Now let me ask you guys, all of you here, have you ever caught your parents in one of these hellholes, one of these digital toilets like this? Have you had to have the talk?
I don't have parents.
How old? Like, all right. Well, let me find out how old your dads are. If you've got a dad, let me know. Dirk, what's your dad's age?
71.
So we got Urquid is 71. Dirk, what's yours?
I mean, you've talked to him. He's in his 50s.
50.
Early 50s.
So he's young enough that he might be okay. He might pass at least some of this stuff. He's still banging girls younger than you. I saw him put his fucking cock in a girl that Dirk would have killed to get his bald mitts on. What about Glunt? Glunt, you got a dad or you hatched from a fucking rock?
He was 24 when he went out for smoke.
Ooh, boy. Yikes. Embarrassing. Are you sure you should even be here right now? We're kind of doing dad talk. So, Jared, what about you?
Well, he's like in his mid 70s, and he doesn't do the internet. He just does Netflix. But my mom is like a TikTok person.
She's seeing this stuff. She's got to be seeing this stuff then.
She's seeing the stuff once in a while. Nothing too big. The thing that I have to have the talk with her are the products advertised. She always wants to buy products like couch covers and stuff for the kitchen and stupid things that you plug into the wall.
You know what really gets women now? This is a brand new trick they're doing. They just invent new Chinese Amazons every day. Every day there's a brand new Chinese Amazon.com. Shein. You're at a Shein.
Yes.
Temu. So what they do is with each new, it's just the same store. They're all the same products as on Amazon. And these are just brand new storefronts. And they just name it a new thing. And a woman goes, oh, maybe this is the one that's got the good stuff. And then they are tricked into buying garbage that you will then, as the man of the home, have to throw out secretly in the night when she's not paying attention, which, by the way, she'll never notice. This is the craziest thing. Try this, guy. Those of you with live-in girlfriends, with wives, this is a new practice you should be trying. This is like the ultimate gaslight. And you do need to do this to women all the time, or else you will be taken over as a human being. In the night, and again, wait till it's nighttime. Wait till she's dead asleep. Just take random items that she owns and throw them into the garbage. Light them on fire, whatever you got to do. You got to bury it. You can't put, a bag of onions, a moldy bag of onions, and a pizza box on top of whatever you throw in there first. Throw them away, and then mark it on the calendar. Don't put the words down, just a secret symbol that's only for you. Like maybe, I don't know, a pinwheel of some kind. And you put that on your calendar and just remember, and then start counting the days before she even notices. And I guarantee you, not only will she never notice, she'll just 5 months down the line buy another one, not even knowing that the first one is missing. Whatever it was, it doesn't matter. It can be jewelry. It can be her favorite. Oh, that's my favorite hairbrush. Why do you
move right on?
Why do you even have more than one, by the way? A favorite hairbrush? You should only even need, what do you have, different types of hair on different parts of your head? Now, Jared, you're the oldest guy I know, and your dad's still younger than my dad. Isn't that crazy?
That is weird. I don't know how that works.
You're like,
but,
what are you, 60?
68.
Okay, and your dad's 71? That is nuts.
Yeah, that's how it works. It's an Italian thing.
Yeah, that is an Italian thing. Subligno, what about your dad? Is he alive, or he didn't pass away, right? I'm not going to be horrified by your answer.
73 short years and still banging.
And does he ever run into this kind of, have you ever seen him on the YouTube app?
He can barely fucking type.
Nice.
So thankfully, no.
Thank God. I wish I should have kept my dad in the dark. I made a mistake. Speaking of keeping in the dark, Lisa.
Yep.
Do you have something stupid you want to inject here?
Well, the stupid thing I have to inject in this is that noticing the weird objects in these AI videos is kind of like noticing a strange object in a coma dream.
Okay, and by the way, if you've never seen Lisa, this is her on the screen behind me here. We should just replace the audio of this video with, like, can we use AI to clone Lisa's voice and put it into this?
Of course.
Yes.
Was to see us sing together
Listen
on
to
a
this.
big stage. Today, we are here to honor her.
This ought to be the best. Now, this is the one time where it will make sense that the person on stage is able to harmonize with themselves. So let's skip to the song and see what happens here. I wonder what they sing. Two heads are better than one.
My brother in the sky, can you hear my song? With every little tear, I know where you belong. You're dancing with the stars, so free and so bright. But I wish you were here,
the
so
black
hold me
scientist
each
who's
night.
been in white people.
Damn. Imagine if Yakub had two heads, how powerful white people would be.
Seriously. Hoping you hear me, feeling your love.
Oh my God, what?
They separated.
They're like getting, they're starting to heal through the power of their Jesus song. They're starting to become
gave him
separate.
sunglasses.
Wow.
They're purging the albinoids.
Yeah, good point. Somebody did the Irish defense system on them right before that shot. I think Simon had enough.
When shadows grow long and the night feels so deep, I think of our dreams and the promises we'd keep.
She's not happy.
Who would be happy seeing this? This should be a crime.
They switched sides. The big one's on the left now.
The big one.
Wish I could reach you to
Just camera tricks like in The Hobbit.
Yeah.
Forced perspective.
This is like a Peter Gabriel music video or some shit.
But I stand on my own.
Which one's the sledgehammer?
Can I point out they don't stand on their own?
The one that's doing it big time, I guess.
We live in hell. This is bad. By the way, why do they have ET necks? I'm at any point now, I'm expecting their heads to shoot up in the air and their little African hearts to light up. Somebody should send these people home. This person, I don't know how, when I say these people, it's because there's two guys. I'm not talking about all dashiki wearing.
It's specific.
Boy, just reminds me I'm alone.
Give them two microphones, by the way. It's kind of mean to make them share.
I search for your
What, you can't afford it?
face in the crowd that I
You had Barron Trump on the show. I think you could afford a second microphone.
They're set up for the Gunter Ball approach to microphoning.
This is crazy. I could have sworn that Wyatt Powers died, and now he's fucking back. Subligna. Oh my God. Have you ever heard Wyatt Powers on this show, Subligna? You sound exactly like him. He passed.
I'd never heard of him, no.
Oh my God. He was a beautiful black man.
Great man.
And he passed away. He was a big fan of the show, but unfortunately he passed away. Okay, well, I've had enough of this absolutely terrifying hellscape that we now live in. So let's go to a slightly lighter topic when it comes to this. Speaking of boomer bait, Lemon Party.
Oh no.
Let's go.
Okay, now this is
Can we do this?
This is connected.
I mean, we got a new guy in here.
I'm about to lose the channel. Okay, now if you don't know speaking of nostalgia, speaking of boomer bait, this is all connected. I promise you, this is connected. Just hear me out. Now, obviously, I can't show you the picture. If you don't know what I'm talking about, I can't show you the original. I can, however, show you this version of it, the safe for work version, which I love. It's just two old guys trying to save another old guy's life. Live, dang you, live!
Oh,
this poor guy's passed out, and they're giving him the breath of life. Okay, now I might have to show you the other one. Okay, I think I have to show it to you. I have a censored version. I don't know if this is okay or not. I don't know if this
Bye.
It's artistic.
All right, listen. Look. There you go. Okay.
Yeah, there
Does that count?
She blows.
All right, you have to know what we're talking. This is important for what I'm talking about. Okay, I promise. Now look at this.
Completely censored.
All right. So we'll go back to the safe for work version, which I like better anyway. All right. Now there's a reason I'm bringing this up. Okay. We've been talking about Lemon Party, and now I believe I've discussed this before on the show. So if you already know the answer, you're cheating because I already talked about this many years ago. But I noticed something. I noticed something with this version that I can't show you for too long. See, I was trying to do a little funny gag the other day where I was trying to shock a few people in Discord, and I went to find Lemon Party to do it, and I realized, like, after I sent it, wait a second, this image is from at the very latest 1995. Okay, it's terrible quality. It's been copied over and over again. But the version I've got of it is so high definition, you can count the liver spots on Grandpa's balls. Now, I'm convinced somebody, some sick and twisted freak out there, used AI to upscale Lemon Party, which, by the way, being invited to an upscale Lemon Party. Wow. Oh, fancy.
Pretty fucking ritzy.
Yeah. Ooh, these lemons must be from Belize.
Jesse's the size of lemons.
Yes. So, live dang you. I can't stop looking at it. Live dang you. That is so funny. Okay, so somebody AI upscaled it. Now, I noticed this before the AI upscale, but after the AI upscale and me sending it to people, everybody started noticing something. There's a crazy thing going on with Lemon Party that we have to get to the bottom of. Now, I know that sounds bad. I know you don't want to get to the bottom of Lemon Party.
Nope.
But you got nothing to worry about. These old folks, I mean, they're flagging. You know what I'm talking about? So it's like a windsock. I don't think even if you were the bottom, I think you would be topping from the bottom. Now, here's what we need to get to the bottom of, okay? Those of you who are in here right now with me and you know the answer because we've been discussing this, please don't respond. All right?
Sure.
Which I think leaves maybe just Subligna. So I think Subligna, do you know what I'm about to say here?
Nope, I'm out and I'm not saying shit.
All right, man. All right, hang on a second. Man, boy, I got to tell you. I got a mystery box here for you, Subligna, and you are going to say some shit because I'm asking you directly. Have you have in your past seen Lemon Party before, right?
On the high school computer, yes.
Of course. So we've all been there. We all made this the homepage in our libraries. It's a classic of the internet. We love Lemon Party. Now, have you ever seen the AI upscale version of it before?
Not fucking once and never fucking will.
Okay. Well, you technically just did, but okay.
Bad chat.
So
Yeah, you're going to see it.
Let me just ask you this. If you had to, from memory, describe Lemon Party, how would you describe it?
Isn't it two guys trying to blow one guy? Because that's the gayest thing I can possibly think of.
Can you describe the guy? Yeah, you're right. Can you describe the guys?
Old.
Any other unique features of these gentlemen?
Nope. Never paid that much attention.
What race are they?
Thought they were all white, weren't they?
Weren't they? Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to your Mandela effect. What if I told you you're entering another dimension? A dimension not only of sight and sound, but of balls. You see the signpost up ahead, you know you're entering Lemon Party. What if I told you, submitted for the approval of the PodAwful Society, what if I told you that this whole time, one of the Lemon Party grandpas, which, by the way, these gentlemen are now dead, So rest in peace, Lemon
Prove it.
Party. Well, I can't. 30 years. 30 years have passed.
They did their
so
duty.
we are at 30. I think it's most likely. What if I
mean,
told
they're
you-
obviously young at heart.
What if I
Come on
told
now.
Well, they're young at old fart. What if I told you that one of them was fucking Asian the whole ass time?
Absolutely could have got by me.
Dude, tell me that's not a Japanese man. Now, then the question becomes, did the AI upscale turn him Japanese? So then I go back to the original. And sure enough, this man was Japanese the entire fucking time. This is my only Mandela effect. I don't believe in the Mandela effect until it comes to this. You know, this is like if you went back to Lemon Party one day and they were all black. Of course, then it would be a melon party.
That would never happen.
That was Kelsey's joke. I'm just throwing that out. If you hated that joke, it was Kelsey's. If you loved that joke, it was mine.
That was a good bit.
Kelsey.
I love that joke.
This is real and this is happening. And AI made it possible. And it's been in front of your face. They're saying in the chat room, no way. I know yo ass lying. Looks like Shinzo Abe. R.I.P. by the way. This was Shinzo Abe. This is why he
and 50% to the southeast.
This is why they shot him. That's sus of me and that's awful. Wait, what? Good one, Kelsey. Impossible. Listen, that is a Chinaman, somebody says. He was Asian the entire time. You had no idea. Now, in fairness, which one would you, if you had to be one of the three Lemon Party guys, would you be the Asian guy who's just kissing the other man on the mouth? Would you be the guy with his mouth full of the man laying down? Or would you rather be the man who's getting sucked off and kissed?
The man filming.
See, everybody says the guy with the camera. You got to pick one of the three. And by the way, there's no proof that there is a man filming. And there's no proof that any of this is real now. We now live in a new universe. There's no woman filming. Listen, Scott asked me this question. And of course, your first thought is, I guess I got to be the Chinese guy. I don't want to kiss the old man, but I guess he's got the least going on in the picture. Yeah. And then plus, nobody will know it was you because it turns out you were Chinese the whole time. Nobody noticed. So you get away with it. But then there's a part of me that goes, I kind of want to be the guy laying down so I get something for my troubles. You know what I'm saying? So anyway,
yeah.
Lemon Party, the AI is even taking over Lemon Party. It shouldn't be possible, and yet here we fucking are. It's happening. And it's been happening right under our noses the entire time, just like the guy being Chinese. We had no fucking clue. What if I told you it's even crazier than that? See, the worst guy to be in that photo, you would think, would be the guy with the dick in his mouth, right? Mm-hmm. But what if you never looked closely enough at the image? What if you didn't recognize exactly who that fellow was? What if this whole thing was the most incredible Mandela effect of all time? What if I told you that, in fact, the guy sucking cock in Lemon Party was actually one of the greatest singers of all time? And he appeared on America's Got Talent. And he sang a song about our Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. Well,
I believe it even more.
Would you believe me then?
My body is ready.
Ladies and gentlemen, take a look at this.
Name is Barron Trump. Praise Jesus, even if it's a mouthful. Give him glory when you're doubtful. The Holy Trinity is you and Jesus and me. So lay down your sweet head, rest in Jesus' bed. Praise Jesus, even if it's a mouthful. Take him in and share his glory. Praise Jesus, even if it's a mouthful. Give him glory when you're doubtful. The Holy Trinity is you and Jesus and me. So lay down your sweet head, rest in Jesus' bed. Praise Jesus, even if it's a mouthful.
Ladies and gentlemen, protect your parents out there, even if it's a mouthful, even if it's hard to do, even if it's the hardest thing that you've ever done. Make sure your parents are safe. And until next time, join that pizza fund, PodAwful.pizza, and have an awful day. I'll see you. Bye, everybody. Bye. Bye. Oh, wait. Bye.
He's
Yeah.
Bye, bye everybody. Bye.
Bye, Jesse. Bye, Jesse.
God bless.
Bye, audience.
Choo choo, all aboard the Retard Express.
Ibdi, that's